Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. We got a great show today. Uh, you know her from as Kelly from Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV show. You've seen her on Craig Ferguson. She was a star of this movie called The Mad Ones. Dana DeLorenzo will be here via Zoom, and it's going to be great. I'm a little under the weather today. I do apologize. But the show must go on. So, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and it's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to this. And I just stubbed my toe. Ouch. Not my day. Anyways, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and enjoy Razor Riffs with Dana D. Lorenzo coming up next.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Razor Riffs with your host, Keith Reza.
Hey, Dana.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I was just about to tweet you to
Yeah,
see if it.
I'm sitting here and it's like connecting. Hold on. Let me get out of this real quick. Are you still there?
Yeah. How are you?
Technology hates me.
Oh, yeah.
No, truly. It is my arch nemesis.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like that person that stumps the Genius Bar at Apple. Like they're like,
Yeah.
we've never seen this before. I have that effect. It's my energy that is not chaotic at all. That
Yeah.
causes things to short circuit.
Yeah. I'm not really good with technology either. So,
Oh, well,
but
that makes me feel better.
yeah. But so I was worried because I thought maybe because it's the Martin Luther King Day,
It
and I
is.
and I thought maybe the holiday things kind of got like, oh, I forgot it was Martin Luther King Day. You know what I mean?
No,
So
no, I didn't. Although I did start going to the post office today to send a package, and then halfway there, that's when I realized that. So that I was like, well, gonna just turn around now because it's definitely not open today. So I did forget that it was a holiday and things like the post office are closed, but I did
yeah.
not forget about our interview. Just technology. It was just sitting here connecting, and I'm
Oh,
like, all right,
uh,
well,
well,
I guess I'm about to text him.
thank you so much. I really
I
appreciate it.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. But before we talk about, Kelly from Ash versus Evil Dead, I wanted to talk to you about a little before that because I think you have a very unique, interesting old school journey. You know what I mean? The, oh,
I love this. Can you explain to me what your
okay.
because I love talking about things like that, like or like traditional journeys or old school. So in what do you define as old school?
Okay, so like old school for like actors, right? Before they become huge movie stars or TV stars, they do a lot of short films, like college films and stuff like that, like 12, 14 minutes.
Yeah,
And I Googled you and it said you did like, like 13 of these short films. And
did
I
I?
thought this was like fantastic. So like I wanted to talk about that, because I've done a couple of short films. I find them to be very short.
Yeah, and for someone like me, it's a good thing that if I recall, a lot of those shorts were like college shorts, like
Yeah,
people, using them to for their degree in their
like
studies. So,
USC film degree,
yeah,
something.
well, and actually, I did a lot of those, if I recall, like that was my training because I was living in Chicago. I was going to school, getting a real degree, media communications, advertising, whatever. Like all of that is obsolete now, by the way, because of, the way that marketing works now is really influencers as nothing. My degree is worthless. But anyway, so I was there and it was a lot of like Columbia students, DePaul students, Northwestern people doing these projects. And a lot of them, because you said, the thing about short films is they're short. It's a
Yeah,
good thing that most of them did not require dialogue for me to improvise or
Uh,
any dialogue at all. Most of them were just 8 millimeter. So it was MOS, like no sound.
yeah.
Because if they were like, hey, we're gonna shoot and you guys just, riff off the script, um, then they would not be shorts. They would be as long as my voicemails are, which are longer than most Scorsese movies. Only mine are not entertaining. My my words, my messages, my voicemail to somebody to just say, "Hey, dinner tonight 7:30" is
Yeah.
I have friends who will vouch. I mean, my friends will vouch. I'm not making this up. They
Uh,
they it's I get cut off every time. Never even get to the point of why I was calling, which was to say dinner at 7:30. So then I have to say, yeah. No, my friends just don't even listen to my voicemails anymore because they're like,
oh, oh
I'm
my
gonna
gosh.
go. I'm like, I just go off on 15 different tributaries. I don't know.
I bet you're the best on Cameo.
Well, depends on who you ask. If you ask Cameo, they would say she needs to stop clogging up our servers with her 20-minute cameos. And you know what's so funny is I used to work on the radio where sound bites were everything, and I knew I had like a gauge in my early
Uh,
20s with like no experience at all, and I had a gauge. I was really good about knowing. Okay, 20 seconds. Like if someone's like, when you're a comic, right? So when they
yeah.
give you like the red light, you got 2 minutes or whatever.
Uh,
What I now think something happened where now my 2 minutes, like a voicemail, like a whatever, I think I'm in a solid 30 seconds in and out. Video. I think my video was so short, minute and a half.
it was a
I'm
short.
at the 7 minute mark to the point of I'm like, you know what? I don't even, I mean, I don't know that that's a gift to anyone. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm not at a loss for words. That's not something anyone could ever say for me, so that's a plus.
Yeah. My cameos are pretty long because like they always want like a joke and it's hard to come up with a joke on the spot. You know what I mean? So
Wait,
like
they want you to come up so they like, oh no way they do that to you where they're like,
yeah.
it's my mom's 53rd birthday. She likes
Yeah.
birds. Can you come up with a quick joke? Thanks.
It, it's hard, right? So like I always like say, "Hey, happy birthday, Dylan's mom. I hear you're turning 53, you know.
Yeah.
Let's hope you make it to 54."
I
You know,
mean,
it's like I don't know what to say.
what else can you do?
I know.
You know nothing about the person. No, it's not like it's somebody that the collective knows.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard. Maybe you should just start using
Not doing
your.
cameos.
No, I love them. I have to say, I love my fans so much, and cameos and what like there was a time pretty much right around the pandemic where Cameo was offering like live calls,
Oh, really?
and that like emotionally for me mentally saved my life because I was able to connect with these awesome people around the world, and it was just really nice, because I got to see people that don't always get to make it to cons or that, so
That's the great thing about it, actually, is because like for example, I'm a huge John Cusack fan. I'll never ever see John Cusack in my life
you don't
at a
know that. No, 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 don't put
at a
that. I think you
con.
will. Nah, put
No,
it out. Nah, put it out in
no,
the universe. You're gonna meet him.
yeah,
Run
no.
into him at an airport.
I've already met him. I'm just speaking
Oh, oh, oh,
hypothetically,
oh, oh. That's
but
how you okay.
like if I was like
Good.
a different fan, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
Oh, oh, I
because
see. As the fan, I'm sorry. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because like you would never, because he only does like the Chicago Con or whatever, and like, it's kind of real unrealistic to go to Chicago and then what if he gets sick the day you go? You know what I mean? So like
your brain
it's
works like mine.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
cameos are actually super super fun and super, it's very special, I feel.
For me too, like, I mean, I'm a fan of people. Like, I have contemplated, almost did it, and then I was like, no, I'll just hold out hope I get to meet him someday, run in the same circle or something. But I still might. Like, I would love like Tom Papa was one of my favorite comics.
Oh,
Uh,
I love Tom Papa.
he's the I've told everybody about you're doing great. I think it's a perfect special. I think it's perfect. Anyway, I could recite it. Anyway, I would love, like, I would love one of those. You
From
know what I mean?
Tom?
From Tom, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I
I'm gonna text him right
don't
now
text him. Do
and
not
ask if he
text him.
could do
Please do
one.
not. Please, no, but I mean, like, I think it's a great tool because you can connect to people, and not just actors or people in the arts. People who are into sports. I actually got to do one for my family with someone who's not famous but runs an elephant sanctuary, and all the donations go to that. So like, and you get to like get up close and personal with the elephants. Like I love that kind of connection thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I do think it's cool. I'm just saying, fair warning to anyone who books me. I give you your money's worth is how I spin it.
Oh, that's great. That's
Give you
great.
your money's worth.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a 30-second cameo from me. That's for sure. That's for
Uh,
sure.
but so you talked about working with the elephants. Like, what are some fascinating things about elephants
Oh
that you want to know?
gosh. I've never worked with them. God,
Oh, okay.
I'd love to, but oh God, don't get me started on elephants. They are some of the most intelligent creatures on earth, like emotionally.
Hmm.
Um, but also they passed there's a scientific test to see if which mammals, which are usually the highest intelligent ones, which ones can recognize themselves in a mirror. So they would do this. This is not the name, but like it's, I don't know, the circle test, where they would
Uh-huh.
put a white circle over the animal's eye and see if then when they look in a mirror, if they realize they're not looking at another elephant, they're looking at themselves. That is a high sign of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And dolphins passed that test and like started like mugging for the camera in ways that dolphins don't do. And dolphins are my other favorite. That they don't do in their natural habitat. But elephants like straight away started to be like, what is this on my eye, and trying to rub it off.
Mm.
They are, what else can I say about them? They're just like, when they say an elephant never forgets, like they have, it's like passed down ancestrally of like where to find water holes when there's droughts, like to
Oh my
places they
God.
would never know. They just like know. But one of the greatest things I think about it, they're matriarchal society. So the boys get to a certain age and then they're like, see you later. But so I'm just going to throw this out there, sidebar. It does seem to be that the most intelligent animal societies, at least, are matriarchs, are run by women. The ones that are run by men, like chimps, just kill
Yeah.
each other. Like, "Roar, strength," gorillas, roar, strength. Whereas like dolphins and I think certain whales and orangutans or the peaceful ones who aren't like trying to like kill each other are
Yeah.
patriarchal. But anyway, they have funerals, they mourn, and I
Yeah.
just think that's so fascinating. That like
I
I
actually knew they had funerals, and I knew that from The Lion King.
really they do. I
Yeah,
love the Lion King. I don't like.
because the elephant's graveyard.
Oh, interesting. I That's very astute that you put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they pass like a skull of an elephant.
Yeah.
Whether that was in their tribe or not, they will pause and they will like mourn it for, like, I mean, they've studied this ad nauseum. Like it's not, we're not personifying it. Anyway, I just find them fascinating in every way, and like just how they are with when they're rescued with humans, like, and you have to like okay, we're not going to make this the elephant show, but
No, I think this is great
I
because
just am
this is
fascinated
something
by it.
you're passionate
You know what
about,
it
and
is?
this is amazing.
It is because it was my mom. My mom has passed, and my mom loved elephants and would always say, it's like, I love their wrinkly skin. I love that. But it was not that, like, I've come to learn that it's because she learned this very early, that they were very emotional creatures.
Yeah.
And my mom just really was such an empath and really responded to that, but also loved just how like how so when the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, which is one of the longest standing ones, it was when it was started, the wife who now Daphne, maybe it is, who then I think took over once her husband died, discovered that when a baby orphan, like an orphaned baby elephant,
Uh-huh.
they were doing all the right things, feeding, like knew the formula to feed for the milk, blah blah blah, and she would like sleep with the like the elephant wouldn't sleep, the baby wouldn't sleep unless she was with this now caretaker because the
Mhm.
mother was gone. And she had to, I think like a year in, had to go, Daphne, the woman, had to go to her daughter's wedding for a few days. And once she left, the elephant died literally of a broken heart. So
Oh
babies,
my
when they
God.
rescue these babies, you can look it up. They have, and they can't keep the same keeper who sleeps in their stall every night because then they'll get too attached. So that when that keeper at the elephant sanctuary, who they're trying to rewild them, right? When that keeper goes, has to take a night off, they don't want the elephant to be in distress. So they like rotate them. So, but someone always has to sleep in the same stall with the baby elephants, like you would, like, I don't know, is like, not that you sleep in the same bed as babies, but like you have a crib, they're still with, you're still checking on them. And
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
find that so fascinating that like they're that emotional and they get that attached in a real way. I don't know. There's so much I could go on about, but it's really just because once my mom passed and we wanted to raise money for something she was very passionate about, I started really getting into it because I'm like, wow, it's fascinating. They're
That
fascinating.
is so beautiful and
I
so
know.
great. That's
I know.
awesome.
Sorry, I was not planning on going down
Don't be
that route, but
sorry. Oh my
again, this
God.
is what happens with like a cameo prompt. Like someone says, especially if I'm passionate about something,
Ah,
forget it. Forget,
I,
or if I'm passionate in both ways, if I'm like really excited, passionate, but also if like going back to the voicemails, if something really pissed me off that day, it's like I'm gonna go off for 3 minutes and never get to
yeah.
the point of why I was calling the friend. I just rant. So
So what pisses you off? Let's rant about
what
that.
doesn't? I'm Sicilian Italian. What doesn't? I find that, and look, I am the first to admit I am very self aware. It's a blessing and a curse. It's actually more
Uh-huh.
just a curse. So I am the first one to admit I know how annoying I am. I know and I like can't seem to, I'm constantly working myself for that reason because I'm like, God, I'm barking. Why am I so loud all the time? Like I don't realize how loud I am until after the fact. I talk too much. I talk too fast. I'm annoying. I'm very annoying, but other people are also very annoying.
Oh, for
I don't,
sure.
you know what I would say generally, the, I try to live my life like, or it's just who I am. I don't even try. It's just like, I'm going to hold the door open if I'm going in and out of a building and I sense someone behind me or someone coming through. Even if I'm going to say thank you if somebody, does something like that for me. Um, I'm not going to be a dick. And if I'm this is a very LA thing. If I'm in the wrong lane and I realize too late and I need to get 3 lanes over in rush hour traffic, I'm not gonna scoot over and make everybody else miss the light because now I'm blocking traffic because I made the mistake and now I need to get to where I'm going. No, I just make the wrong turn and I have to recalibrate. What
But
pisses me off is
Dana,
when
you're a
people don't do that.
celebrity. You have that
I'm
right.
not a celebrity. I am not. You know what I guess what pisses me off most in life is we have lost as a society just basic common courtesy or basic manners. And I do think it's a very United States thing. Because I happen to notice, like I was in Europe at the end of last year. I
Hmm.
don't know. I happened to just notice that it really was a stark difference. Like in Ireland. I mean, I've been to a couple countries over there, but most recently I was in Amsterdam and then in Dublin. And it's just people have a little bit more couth.
Yeah.
Rest of the like, really, people from all over the world. It wasn't just like the Irish and and the Dutch. It was like because you meet people from all over, especially in Europe. There's so many transients everywhere, and it's just like it made me realize like no wonder, no wonder so many countries hate Americans because they're rude. You could
Yeah.
spot an American anywhere. I could spot an American overseas like that.
Well, I have an interesting theory about that
Oh, pray
if
do
you'd like.
tell. I love this.
Okay. So before I say this, I just want to make it clear to the rifters, the listeners. I love America. Like I'm
Yeah, no,
patriot.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
guess we have to say that about everything now that like qualify. Just because I'm saying that I
No, no,
find
I get it, but I just
recently
want
Americans
to.
to be rude and that recently I noticed that other people in other countries weren't as rude or rude does not mean I hate them.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
No, no,
I I I
I was
I
just
I
making a
know you're
joke.
right. No, but I'm just backing it up so that since I'm going to own it, I think we need to also get a. I'm not. This is not about you. You're exactly right to say that so that I don't get death threats. That's not what I mean. I also think we've gotten to this weird limbo of like just because we say something is one way that means it's the exact opposite. It's only things
Yeah.
aren't black and white. It's like both things can be true. There are
So,
good Americans. There are shitty Europeans. It's what
yeah.
I mean. But go ahead, please,
So
please.
here's my theory. Okay, so because America is the land of the free, right?
Yeah.
We as a society think we could do whatever we want because of that word free. But if you look at, for example, Europe, who, they when they were, they've always been ruled by kings and stuff, so they've always had
Mm.
rules. You know what I mean? Like, hey, don't go out past 9 o'clock and sleep with the queen, or it's off with your head. You know what I mean? So like they
I mean,
have
it's a pretty good rule.
yeah, but like they're very rule oriented. So it's kind of like that's kind of why maybe you know what I mean they're like oh very more polite and stuff. And Americans we just don't follow rules because we think free means no rules. Does
Oh,
that
that's
make
a great
sense?
theory. No, that does make sense. I mean, yeah, I think there's something to that.
Yeah,
I think there is. I do think there is, I don't know. I think just in general, I won't even say just in America because I don't think it just is. I will say in general, we've come to a time where it's like everybody, it feels to me that
yeah.
like everybody is just so out for themselves in a way. Like that's the collective. I'm not saying that you are this person listening is. I'm just saying I sense like this. I don't know. It's like an an angst, a dissonance. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't remember it didn't used to feel like that, I don't know.
I think it's always been like that, but I just think it feels kind of
Feel-
like this because we've gone through so much the past
Yeah.
15 years. You know what I mean? Like
Ugh.
we've had house depressions, we've had argument. I don't like to get political, but we've had arguments with both presidents. You know what I mean? So it's kind of and then we had a pandemic. You know what I
Pandemic,
mean?
I think, is really that to
Yeah.
me. I think I distinctly like anything before then feels like a different time. It
Oh
really,
yeah, yeah,
really
exactly.
does
But
in
it's
so
just
many
like
ways,
a
energetic.
layer.
And like it
But
hasn't, I mean, it's been pretty rough. It's not like, okay, remember that thing happened, then it's over. It's like everyone I've talked to, and
I still remember it like it was yesterday.
me
Like,
too, but also like it hasn't, it's not like it's been a walk in the park since. I feel
yeah,
like a lot of us are still picking up the pieces of like you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's been smooth sailing since then. So,
I
but
should have
this is the
saved my
year. This is
money,
the
man.
year
Yeah,
2026. Year of the fire horse or whatever it is.
for
We're doing
sure.
it. It's a good year.
I should have saved my money if I knew this was gonna happen, but because I thought, oh, I got all this money in this world, I could go do whatever I want, and
Right?
then next thing you know, I have to move back in with my parents. I'm not doing stand up, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what's going on here? So like, I felt like I was a celebrity, and now I feel like I'm a celebrity loser.
Ex- that is it. That's really just encompasses it perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
So
Oh,
I did want to ask you about the Mad Ones because I thought you were very great in that, and that was like your
oh.
first starring role. And I wanted to know, like, when you were doing that, like, as an actress, did you have like anxiety, like because you were the main chick? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I get anxiety for a lot of things anyway. Like I feel
uh-huh.
like that's something I've had to work through my entire life. But you know what gave me a lot of anxiety about I won't, but not in it. I won't even, but like an anxiety, but like when it comes to something I love doing or a challenge, it's a different kind of anxiety.
Yeah.
Like the anxiety of like, how am I going to pay my bills and that is stress. And then there's an anxiety of like, that is stemmed from insecurity and self-doubt, and I'm not going to be good enough, and I don't think I can do this. And with that, it wasn't that it was the lead, because I take very seriously all the parts I've had.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had a lot of like one line parts, and and I think those, to be honest, are the hardest to do. Um,
Really?
oh my God, but I can get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Way harder. And I can promise, because I've done them, way harder than if you have a ton of dialogue and conform this, have this room for this character to grow. But in terms of that film, where the anxiety came from, or a lot of the self doubt, is it was something very different than what was my strength. Like, my
Yeah.
strength was more, or what I tended to get cast as, was like the sarcastic attitude girl, or best friend, or somebody who had like a very sarcastic, dry wit kind of thing. And this was um, a role that, when I read it on paper, I responded so much to it, because it's a part of me that I never got to play, or
Yeah.
until this role, but is very much also a side of me, which is the neurotic side. I am Richard Lewis um, deemed me. He was a mentor of mine,
Oh, that's awesome.
and my claim to fame with him. This was very early on, but he had said, we were on the phone, and he had said, he deemed me an honorary Jew, and I was like, Richard, that is the nicest thing that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And he goes, it's not a compliment, you idiot. And I was like, why? It is to me. And he goes, you're more neurotic than me, my mother, my Uncle Toey, my Aunt Gina. And I was like, it's a badge of honor to be
Yeah.
more neurotic than you. And we just howled. Because so that's when you know you're neurotic, when Richard Lewis says you're more neurotic than him and his whole family. So in that role, it was I didn't have the things that made me comfortable to like fall back on. You know what I mean? Like the because you can sort of fall into that attitude of a character, but this was very much like a lot of the nonverbals, and a lot of like internal. And it was the first time really that I had a lot to work through with the script. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Up until then, it was, I mean, mostly I had done, like you said, shorts, and mostly just comedy, or like short parts in comedic films. I've never really got to dig into a little bit more of the drama and the human experience. And I have to say, I had a great writer director who just opened me up to a different way of working and analyzing a script. And I really give a lot of credit to Ani Rudpandit for that, because it's his film, and for what he brought out in the performances. But and great cast and everything. We all just really wanted to be there. That also helps, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
then
but yeah, I
chemistry
was
too
really proud
really
of it.
works. Yeah.
I'm still really proud of it, because I've never gotten to really play anything like that since, and it's and it I really like those kinds of roles, because I get to take off all the masks and kind of reveal that real part, like who I know I am, which is a very shy, vulnerable. Not that the character was shy, but like the not the one that I put out to everybody of like, look,
Yeah.
which there's I'm very much a yin and yang, which I think most people are, but it's that part of me that's like, overthinking and speaks the thoughts out loud, but she does it in a way that's not as annoying as I do as Dana, which is like bah, 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 bah.
Well,
Uh,
those parts are gonna come, like, I mean, because you're so good in it,
oh
and
man,
and
thanks.
like I said, if I ever sell one of the scripts that I'm writing, I'll cast you in that, because, like, that
Hold you to it.
yeah, I
Hold you
know
to
for
it.
sure, you know, but
I'd love
like,
that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
that. That's a really very special film to me, and because it was indie and it's not many people have seen it, so I really appreciate you watching it, and I'm really proud of it. Thank you.
Thank God for Amazon. Like
I
seriously.
mean,
Seriously, right?
VOD, thank God for VOD. Let's just say that VOD.
Yeah.
Although, by the way, though, not to segue. See, this is why I go on these little tangents. So you're gonna have to. I didn't get to. I don't know if my manager told you before, but you're gonna have to cut me off because I'll accidentally derail the interview. You know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
don't want to cut you off.
Okay,
I think this
but
is great.
no, please do.
Oh,
But the like I just said, well, thank God for VOD or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is where we have to qualify everything. But what talking about the old school, good old days, I
Shorts.
still prefer. I still maybe it's because it's what I grew up with, but man, there is something I feel so sad for the generation that has never gotten to experience. Although I think they'll come back around. Um, Blockbusters, like
Oh yeah.
it's a very different, I get so overwhelmed by the amount of choice, on one platform, let alone, if you have all of them, it's like, duh, but duh, there's so much at all times. Whereas I miss the days of like walking in a Blockbuster and,
Renting movies and
right,
just it's
like,
like a
right.
library.
Well, exactly. But also like, that is how I actually saw. I'm not trying to segue. I'm just saying that the truth is that's how I saw Army of Darkness for the first time, because we went in for whatever film for whatever big movie. I can't remember what it was by any means, but it was I was in high school. It was whatever big movie had finally just come out on video. Like, you know what I
Uh
mean? It was like big in the theaters. So, like, were you around for Blockbuster, or was that before
yeah.
your
I
time?
have great stories about Blockbuster. Like one of
Yeah.
the things I loved is when you rent a movie, it tells you like the plot, and then it says if you like this plot, Blockbuster also recommends like three other movies, and all those three other movies fucking sucked. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh man, but those are when like, those were like high school kids making their recommendations.
yeah.
It's not like when you go to a bookstore and they're like avid readers and they're like, if you like this author, you should, or this storyline, and you can trust that. No, these were like 15-year-olds who were there with like their headphones on and braces and just like, yeah, man, if you like Dazed and Confused, you're gonna really love Schindler's List, you know? Um, yeah, I actually forgot that they used to do that. But there was, what was so great in a way, and I think formed us. And maybe this is why people are rude these days, because they never had to go through the pain of delayed gratification, where you go in, it's a Friday night, you're in high school, you have your one friend who actually has a car and drives, you go to Blockbuster, you're like, all right, we're gonna get this movie and this movie, and if that one's not there, we're gonna get this one, and you have your movies that you know you're gonna get, and then you call ahead to make sure they have it. Yes, we have it. And then you get there and it's not there. Someone didn't return it on time. Or somebody had just rented it. So all of the movies you wanted to see that were finally out on video, because
Yeah.
that was the idea of it, that they were new or you didn't get to see it in a theater, whatever. And then you're like, well, we're here now, so I guess we'll just have to go find another movie. And then you walk around the store and you have to now collectively decide on something, either A, you've all not seen, or something you all want to watch. But that's kind of how you find like gems. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's how I saw Army of Darkness, is like, I didn't pick that. My two best friends in high school were two guys that were a year and two older than me, Dan and Dave. And then there was nothing there that we wanted to see. They
And you got forced into watching
and they were like,
this.
"Oh, I think one of them had seen it." And anyway, and I remember watching it in high school and thinking like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." I didn't get it. I did not get it. And it wasn't until I was in college and I don't know that it was like a radio class, I think, like, or the history of radio or history of media. I don't remember, but my professor somehow brought up Bubba Hotep. And so I don't know if it was, I can't remember, but I know I ended up renting at Blockbuster still, Bubba Hotep, which starred Bruce Campbell. And I was like, this is great. Oh, it's that guy with that boomstick. And so when I was talking about it, my professor was like, you got to, oh my God, you haven't seen The Evil Dead. You have to go back and rewatch Army of Darkness. It's great. But
Yeah.
so I went back and rewatched it. Now older, having really understood everything now, like with like having seen Bubba Hotep and everything. And I fucking loved, oh, sorry, you're allowed to swear. Sorry. I loved it.
No, no, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I loved
Swear.
it.
I
I was like,
swear.
oh, I can't believe I wasn't ready in high school for that, especially because it was dated, even when, obviously it had come out like 2 decades before or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but I ended up loving it. And anyway, so, but that's because of Blockbuster. I don't know
Yeah.
that I would have found that, you know, watching it on VOD, Discovery, you know what I mean?
I also blame Blockbuster, and this might be a little pervy for a second, so I apologize. But do you remember like in the corner they had the
A dark.
porno
Were they
section?
pornos or were they like what Cinemax ended up being?
Yeah,
They
something
were
like
like,
that. And then it was like a big red door. And my dad always used to say, whatever you do, do not go in this red door. And I was like, okay. And then my dad would go in the red door. And I'm just
yeah,
like, what's
oh
in
my,
this door?
and like, it always works when parents tell kids, whatever you do, don't do this.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
so did you
And
go,
then you
right?
sneak in and then you get traumatized. You know
I
what I mean?
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever went. I don't know if we had like, I know there was a section. I don't think we had a specific. I can't remember. If we did, I was such a goody two shoes. I never even went
Yeah.
in there. Like a loser. What a loser I was. I am still, but I
But
follow rules.
yeah,
I
exactly.
respond to authority, and I'm, that way. Look where it's got me.
Yeah. But I mean, let's jump in the Evil Dead series, because that's your universe too. But like, in my opinion, I feel the very first Evil Dead, because like the whole show and the movies, they become like horror comedy, but the very first one wasn't funny at all. It was very scary.
Terrifying. And actually, that was the one I hadn't seen.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, and it was the night, like, because this all happened very quickly. Like, auditions normally take a little bit of time. This was like, it was an audition, a callback, and all of a sudden I'm screen testing. With
Really?
yes,
Oh my God,
it
that's
was
fantastic, though, isn't it?
it. Well, in hindsight, yes, but it in a yes, 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 but it was one of those things where it was it was also like such an insane time because I was flying back and forth to Ohio because simultaneously my mom was going through her first chemo treatments. So it was like this crazy three
Oh
weeks
my
of
God.
like where but again, I've talked about this in a way where it's like if I'm trying to find a positive spin on what happened with my mom, it was that it took my focus away from what I would normally like squeeze the puppy of that audition. Like, oh, I want it so much and I don't want to screw it up. You know what I mean? Like you love it so much, you
Yeah.
just kill it, which I tend to, that tends to happen. And you know how they always say, like, just don't care about it. But there's not a switch. You can just not care about something, right? But in this case, it was literally life or death. It was nothing else mattered, which weirdly, the silver lining is that served me because I knew I wasn't going to get it. I'd had so many close calls and been in positions like this several times over the years,
Mhm.
with other big shows. And so anyway, it happened very quickly. And that was a very good thing because then I went into it like, I know I'm not going to get this. And I don't really, I'm just going to focus on being happy. I'm just grateful and going to have fun that I get to
Yeah.
be directed by Sam Raimi today and get to do a scene with Bruce Campbell. Oh my God, how awesome. And that's exactly how I went into it. And I think that's why I got it. I don't know. I mean, I think that just served me in the room because I was relaxed. And anyway, but wait, I digress. Oh, so the night before that screen test, and it was like, again, I was scrambling because I was flying back and forth. Okay. And so, but I was very prepared because they had kept the same three scenes. It was since the audition. So I knew them through and through by this point. And I was like, oh, should I watch the film? Should I watch the first one? Because I didn't think, I'm like, but I wanted to be as prepared as possible. I'm like, you know what? I got to watch it. So because I had seen Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness is basically, look, it's a comedy. Okay.
Yeah. You went to Blockbuster and rented the
I
first
did,
one.
yeah. No, I don't even know. I think somebody had to bring it over. I don't even know if it was available. I forget how I got it, but I got it. And I'm by my, night before the thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll put it on. And how bad, I knowing it's campy and whatever. I had to stop. And I'm a horror fan. I just stopped because when they got to the giggles, I was so
Oh
not
yeah.
prepared for how legitimately terrifying this film was going to be. I thought it was going to be silly, over the top, campy. I did not know it was going to be straight horror. And
Yeah.
that to me is such a, it gives me so many chills. When evil is personified, like they were in the Deadites, like with the sister, with Cheryl and Linda and everybody, where they're giggling, they're enjoying it. And so I couldn't finish watching it. Then I had to wake up early because it was dark at that point. I've told this, they know this by now. I had to wake up early on the day of my screen test, and watch it with the lights on. Like it was not, and I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Like, but it really freaked me out in the best way.
Isn't it isn't it weird that like by the way, I want to respect your time. Do we have 10 more minutes or
Of
so?
course. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
okay. Isn't it
Will
is
your listeners still be listening? Probably not, but I would love to continue talking to you for 10.
no, to be honest, my listeners actually love you because I got like 20 emails requesting to get you on the show.
Oh, or those might be the Daniacs, they call
Yeah.
themselves. The
So,
Danamaniacs, the Daniacs. Oh,
yeah.
well, that's great. Okay, so yes, all the time that you need. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Great. So I was gonna say I think it's kind of funny and interesting that giggling is like people think it's all cute, but it's actually pretty terrifying.
Don't you find, especially when I mean, it's cute if it's a baby, I
It's
guess.
still terrifying because like look at all the horror films where like kids are like the killer or something. You're
No,
like,
right,
what?
right. I meant
You're
like
like,
someone,
holy
like a
shit.
friend's baby in life. No, no. Anytime evil at all is giggling or enjoying it. Like
Yeah.
even,
Holy.
even the classic Jack Nicholson moment where he in The Shining when he busts through the door and she's screaming for her life. And he goes, "Here's Johnny." Like he's enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me, I think that's because I think we know with like serial killers or sadistic people in the world that do enjoy being evil. And I don't know, for me, that just like even talking about it,
Oh.
that's what's scariest of all. Um, and I think
On
that's what makes a good villain though. That's why like another Jack Nicholson, the 1989 Batman, that is still will always be my Batman.
oh, for
Michael
sure.
Keaton is my Batman, and I'm sorry, there's no, I love the dramatic versions. I love, Heath Ledger, love, 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 but the best Joker for my money in that respect is Jack Nicholson, like just because, but also he just didn't. He was, I just love that one. Was still scary as a kid, but I love it. Like every line he says in that, he's like enjoying, you know.
Yeah. And I have
Um,
a theory why Michael Keaton's the best Batman. Would you like to
please,
hear
oh,
this?
I could talk about this forever. Please.
Okay. So here's the thing a lot of people don't know, but I know because I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm very successful, Dana. You should come to a show. I love
I would
making you
love
laugh.
to. I would
Uh,
have going to ask you about that. I'd love to.
I love making you laugh. You have such a great laugh. And
You do. You make me laugh.
Michael Keaton was the best Batman because he was a stand-up comic when he filmed that Batman, and nobody knew that. So
No
like that,
way.
yeah. So that's why Bruce Wayne was so like if you notice, Bruce Wayne was kind of funny. Batman was very dark.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I thought like that's kind of because all the other Bruce Waynes have not been funny. They've still kind of been mysterious and dark, like
Sure.
the Batman. But like when he's Bruce Wayne, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got that
You want to
statue
get
from
nuts?
Africa."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like the other line is like he's like, how much do you weigh? 108, and then that like they stop halfway through, and then he's like, it's a little more than 108. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So
you
like
know,
I think that was like the magic sauce because Batman's just not a funny dude. And I think like that's kind of why it worked.
I is so Michael, like you're serious. I've never heard that. Like the actual person, like Michael Keaton was
Michael
doing
Keaton,
stand up.
he was a stand-up comedian when he got cast as Batman, and it wasn't working for him because he was actually a terrible stand-up comedian. Michael, if you're listening to this, I apologize.
Michael, I will come see your
Uh,
set anytime.
Well, he doesn't do it anymore.
Well,
But
let's
like
make him. Let's
yeah,
go
yeah.
crowdfund that.
But like that's how he got because he did this movie called Johnny Dangerously and he was a stand-up then and that's how he did Batman. And he was like, "Are you sure I'm just like a funny dude?" And they said, "No, we think this is gonna work." And
That
that's
isn't. I've never ever heard that.
yeah, he beat out Charlie Sheen because he was funny, and Charlie Sheen wasn't. So like
Well,
there's
yeah, and that sort of fit in the tone of the Burton style. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you couldn't, it wouldn't work if it was because then everyone would root for the Joker. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? You have like you you have to as an audience still be entertained by the hero, even if they're the more serious of the two. But
exactly.
you can't just it can't just be boring. You
Yeah.
know, oh, I love that. God, I didn't think I could love Michael Keaton anymore. And
Oh my God, he's so
now you
great.
just made me, you gave me another match for him. He can do no wrong. I love him. See,
So,
I would totally get a cameo from Michael Keaton.
oh, okay. I don't
Totally.
know Michael Keaton, but if I ever meet him,
Well,
I'll get him you
yeah,
a cameo. I'll be like, hey,
please do.
listen. I was like,
And
my
that
late,
should be your first priority when you meet him.
yeah. I would be like, listen, my friend Dana needs a cameo. I need
And
to
right,
get
do
this.
that. Yes.
Yeah,
And then talk
yeah,
to him about stand up. Yeah, definitely
yeah,
put me first in that scenario.
yeah.
Makes
Because I
total
gotta say, if I get a cameo for her, she said she'll do my podcast again. So I need her. I need this
That'll really
cameo.
put, I mean, that'll really put the pressure on him. You might, I'm a little worried. You might destroy your relationship if you say that too.
Oh well, you know.
I will do your podcast anytime with or without any cameos. How about,
Oh, you're the best,
are
Dana.
you kidding? I'm having a great time. I don't even know if I don't even think we answered anything you asked me because I think I just keep taking you on tangents. I'm sorry.
Well, this is great because I have three questions still, and I love it. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
good.
So I wanted to ask you this question as an actress or actor. I don't know what you.
I say actor only because, but I've said that for a very long time, just because I couldn't when I want like this. I've lived in LA for 15 years now, and it just started to wear on me like year two when people would say like, or I'd hear someone else be like, "What do you do?" I'm an actress, and it became like other people. I don't mind that people say that. There was just a lot of people I was
Yeah.
that were very had like an entitled sense to it that I just was like, I don't want to be that. I'm just yeah, I'm an actor
So as an actor, then
as an actor.
I wanted to ask you when you first started, did you have any like fears like auditioning or something, and do you still have those fears today? Now that you have like a very successful show under your belt, you know what I mean? Like, do you still have any fears as an actor?
Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. And to be totally brutally honest, my fears are way worse now. I was
Really?
way more confident before I got on a show like that.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like maybe it has to do with that old adage about it's not the destination, it's the journey, actually. And I think I had a lot more confidence and hope when I was, climbing it, when it was still, uh, uh, there. And I think also a lot of it has to do with talking about old school. I have watched the business model here for acting, for booking jobs, whatever, completely change.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was in Chicago, and then I'd say up until when I got, or basically up until the pandemic, but I'd say for a solid like the 15 years I was doing it, there was a lot being made. There was a pilot season. It was just a ton of stuff
You'd
that,
also get paid on stuff that doesn't get released. You know what I mean?
well, right,
Yeah.
sure, but also I think more than that, it was that there is such, at least from where I'm sitting, I have friends that are constantly working, so I know this doesn't apply to everybody. Um, but from where I fit in, there's just a scarcity. Um, in a way where, like, I mean, it's no secret. Like, I used to do, and like I used to book, what am I trying to say? National commercials, right?
Hmm.
And that was really good that was some good income, especially when I was working at a bar. You could like really support yourself. And now, I mean, I don't really watch a lot of commercials, but when I was just home for the holidays with my family, and my dad, still has like regular TV with live TV with commercials, and every commercial is a famous actor
Yeah.
for the most part, or like 90% of them, if you start paying attention, right?
Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
whereas before, like those kinds of things it'd be like there might be a couple people who were spokespeople, but a lot of those went to like just actors. Or even now, and I think a lot of it though was because of the pandemic, because everybody was out of work for so long. So now, like, guest stars that used to be able to, or in the past, I feel like I could book or have booked, now those are just automatic straight offers to people that are still on, that are like A-list, that are, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
so uh, so I guess my fears now are, and also, like, you just don't go in, like, I do really well in a room. I like having an audience. Like, I started in theater. Like, to be honest, I never was trying to set out to be in TV and film. I just like to perform. I like live. I like to entertain. I grew up with musical theater. That was my first love. But I think so when you audition and you get to be in a room, again, I respond to authority. I really like having direction. I really like being able to gauge if I'm getting it or not, which I can read the room very well. And when it's like, I am listen, I am not Scorsese. I can't, now I gotta light my own place. I gotta draw. You think I can talk about cutting myself off because I talk so much? Try watching your takes and picking the best one. I'm so bad at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where then it's like you stop paying attention. I would rather just someone else decide. You know what I mean? And now
Oh yeah.
I gotta be my own PA, gotta be my own hair, makeup, gotta do all the lighting and the sound, and then
It's fucking ridiculous, to be
find
honest
a
with you.
reader, which is so
Yeah.
like painstaking, I find. And again, I'm not complaining. That is just what the process is now. But I do really miss just that thing of like driving, going, like there was also like an energy where we used to go to the studio lots to audition, not even when it was a screen test or something big. I would often, for co-stars, go
Yeah.
in and go to CBS Radford or go to Sony, and because you're driving at Warner Brothers, you're
You
going in,
feel
you're getting that
more,
pass.
yeah.
There's some, like, you are there walking past the working actors. It was seeing the golf carts and the shows, and it's like it always gave me an energy of like that's where you're going and that's what you're doing, as opposed to I'm looking at my laundry that I haven't folded while I'm trying to do this scene with my reader on Zoom. Like, it's just, you know what I mean?
No,
It's just
yeah.
different. So I think but I also like the industry has changed. There's and also like I'm a woman who's aging in this business. That's obviously that's something that's never changed in this business. So like that's a common thing where things don't come as much as they used to. You're not
Yeah.
getting as many scripts. So yeah, the fears are way worse now. But I think um it can be a good thing because it's forcing me to think outside the box and what it is I really want, and trying to I've always wanted to try stand up, but I respect the form too much.
You would be
By George
great at
Carlin.
stand up.
By George Carlin. I think I just flashed everybody. Sorry.
No worries.
Uh,
I enjoyed it.
all right, that definitely gets me a cameo from Michael Keaton. No, but I thank you for thinking that. But like, I've studied it the longest. I like not class, but it's to me the highest art form. I don't think there's a higher art than getting up on a stage without an instrument, and the only instrument is your thoughts on what you to try and make a group of strangers laugh. I think, like to me, that's like, pff, and I don't even want to touch it. But there's a part of me that's like, maybe now's a good time to just go fail at something else and make even less money. So I feel like I
You
need to
wouldn't you
go.
wouldn't fail though,
But I
because
know that's the nature. That's the nature of it, right? You're a comic.
yeah,
The only like, and that as a type A person, like, there's no way to prepare. The preparation is going and doing it and realizing what bombs and realizing what works and working on. That is, I'm a person who likes to be. You can't do that in your own room. You have to go do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come open for me.
Well, let me figure out it. What
That would be great.
I would love to. I mean, but let me. you
Uh,
you should. We got to talk because I want.
okay.
Do you understand? Again, I'm just being honest here. You asked me to open. You better get a fucking buzzer and a shot clock and a cane ready because somewhat you giving me the light.
I definitely will have that
I'll
for when
think
you
right.
open.
But no, you don't understand. I'll think, okay, got 2 minutes left, and I'll think I'm talking for less than 2 minutes, and it's been 15. The night's over. Gee,
Okay.
so you were gonna have to give me a
Well,
shot collar or something, and then I'll
uh,
know. Okay.
okay. All
And good
right.
night, everybody. Good night, everybody. That's what's that. No, I'd love to. I really would. But so I think that's a good thing that can happen when fears get too loud or anxiety. I honestly feel like it's a growing pain, and I'm really trying to sit with that and not run away from it and try and figure out what that means. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes it can lead to good things or just a recalibrating, if you will. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if I've shared this story. Maybe I have. But like 20 years ago, like the furthest I've ever gone in like a big motion picture movie, I got screen tested, and it was between me and like five or six other guys. And as an actor, like now I'm a comic, but when I was younger, like I really took acting like pretty seriously. And I think the reason why I wanted to be an actor, like just to be frank, is to kiss girls or something.
That's
And
okay. It's a
yeah,
motivation. It's at
yeah.
least it's an honest motivation. So
So I get to the screen test, and this is like a big movie and a big, like I don't want to say her name, but it's a big actress. And it was like a mega movie, like it could have changed everything for me. And I screen tested her with her, and I had to kiss her, and I was so fearful of that because she was already a big movie star, and I've never really kissed I've never really kissed. So like I was kind of, so I think like maybe that's why I didn't get the part. And it like
that's not why.
no, but
Not
like
why.
it just got in my head where like that was like the biggest fear that I was always fearing, and it came true. And then I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, but that goes in. This is something I've also been trying to work on when they say about being mindful. Like if there is something like what you believe is what will happen. So
yeah,
you were probably so focused on that it became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But that my argument also is don't take
I was also, to
take
be
the pressure off
fair,
yourself. The,
I was also a young kid.
no, but
So
and
like
also yeah, but and also you've now learned that it
how
is
to kiss. Yeah.
so. I think that should be your opener when you approach Michael Keaton. Hey, I know how to kiss, Michael. Just gonna put that out there. Or Tom.
Uh,
I mean, Tom would enjoy it.
yeah.
Enjoy that opener. But I think also what you've now realized and learned is that, especially in our line of work, it is so far out of your control, and you could go in there and you could have aced it and been like, you know, I don't know,
Mean Girls
Fabio,
all the way.
glowing, and it wouldn't have mattered because it's not about how well you do.
Yeah.
It's what the parts you're this is a great line. The parts you're meant to get, you won't be able to escape. And I, having gone through it, can agree with that, because I never should have gotten Evil Dead. It was too many crazy things had to happen, and I got it. But I think, that's a good thing for you to keep in mind, is like, just don't, for anything you do, try not to let the fears overwhelm the reality, because then you'll believe it to the point of where you manifest it,
Yeah.
thoughts have power,
Def
you know
All
but
right.
yeah, also screw that movie, and I'm so glad that your life took the trajectory that it did. Look at you,
Oh, yeah,
a
I
huge
know.
podcast, talking to, I mean, name someone who's a big name in this industry, and you've talked.
You. I
No, I'm serious. You've had some major players, and like
yeah.
something you created and did. I think that's a huge accomplishment. That is way more than anybody who would have did. Whatever happened to the person who got that part?
Oh, he apparently he's like I'm not judging or anything, but he likes the fellas, and that was his only movie he ever did.
Well, there
But
you go.
he's like a
So it
big
might.
reality star about
So see,
so,
it didn't. It won't necessarily. It wouldn't have necessarily changed
yeah,
your life, But look at you now,
yeah.
doing it,
Uh
man.
so my final two questions is I wanted to talk to you about cons. This is kind of going to be like a weird question, so I apologize because
So
you're going to be in Ontario in a couple weeks. Uh,
California, not Canada.
yeah,
Ontario, California.
Ontario, California. So I wanted to ask, like, this is a two-part question. I wanted
Okay.
to ask you when you sign pictures, do you have like a funny saying that you say like "Don't do crack, Dana," or like how do you like do you have something just in your mind where you just zippity zappity?
No, but I think I'm going to start doing "Don't do crack, Dana." I think that is. I'm always trying to think of new ideas, and I mean, can I use that? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
definitely.
I think.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty solid, really.
yeah.
Just be honest.
It's
Um,
great advice.
it's real. It's just all the things. Don't do crack, Dana.
Especially on your Evil Dead.
I mean, it's kind of just perfect. Thank you for that gift. To answer your question, I mean, I've been doing these for 10 years now, and it's my therapy. It's my favorite thing, because again, like we were just talking about, with where everything is in the world and in the business, to just like get to go talk to people one on one and see how much something that I loved, that I'm grateful for, that I got to do, that they also loved. And
Yeah.
and it just becomes this like mutual love fest of like, oh my God, I'm so happy you liked it. Did you what like I get to geek out about the show with people that I haven't, you never get that feedback. It's not like it's a live audience when you film it.
Right.
And so anyway, I love doing them, and I really, just anybody who's met me will tell you, like, there's a theme. I'm usually getting cut off by the fans who are like, okay, Dana, we love you so much, but we really have to get to this next photo op. But thank you so much. Like, they're the ones pulling away from me because I talk so fucking
Do
much.
you say, wait, I'll give you your money back. Come back.
No, I just keep talking. And people like don't want to cut me off to tell me that they have to go.
It's because you're so interesting and you're so
But
passionate.
also, that's like but see, that's when I feel bad. You're very kind, but also in that situation, I can't let people miss something they've paid for to
Yeah.
get in line for Linda Blair, for God's sakes. Okay, anyway. So, in terms of the writing things, I I know now what a lot of people request or whatever. I usually like to take the time to talk to the person for a second, and then I will try and if it's something they bring up an episode, it's about the picture, whatever. Sure, I will maybe like put one of my favorite lines that I've said as Kelly in that world, but I also try and incorporate the moment we have together
Yeah.
because I know when I have met my people that matter to me, I have like a stroke. Like to this
Yeah.
day, like I stopped. I was at a con and I went to go see Richard Dreyfuss, who I love,
Oh my God.
and I'm a guest at the same con. In fact, he was leaving early, so I had to tell my fans because there was still a line. I had to tell them, and I was like, "Listen, I'm so sorry, but I couldn't get to him all weekend. He's leaving." They're like, "Go, go, go!" And so I was fine, and I knew like, okay, I know because now I don't like to keep people waiting, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna get up there, just I'm like, just keep it quick, Dana. So I was just like, I don't even know what I was gonna say, like. Your performance has been. I don't look. I can't even say it now because I'm reliving how I couldn't even say. I like whatever it was. I was practicing it on the way up, and I was gonna do that and just say how much I loved him, and maybe get a picture and go. And what ended up happening was, and my friend has pictures to prove it, is that I couldn't speak. Like funny. I know I could speak. Words were coming out,
Hmm.
but my eyes were closed because I like couldn't look at him because I'm a little. I get overwhelmed sometimes by what I'm receiving. So like because
Right.
he means so much to me, if by looking at him, I wouldn't, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to spit it out. So I didn't even know I was doing this, but I was like talking with my eyes closed and like just a lot of it, like, because the more nervous I get, the more animated and loud I get. So it probably just looked like insanity to the point where he leaned on the table and he goes, "Do you need medical attention?" To the point to try to like break the ice. And I was
Right.
like, how about, and I couldn't pull it together. But that
Oh
was
my God.
like, but that's the other thing. So like, I know that when I write something or when I have these moments with anybody, like that's Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
I'm just Dana from Youngstown, Ohio, who got to have her dream role and got to do this cool thing. And so I try and make people feel comfortable first and foremost, but also to give people a second because if anyone's like me, I that first minute it's like is a time warp and you're not even there. You're not even
Yeah.
you know, when it's someone that really matters to you. So if I ever, and I've had some fans it's clear that and I get so, then I get emotional because I'm like, I love that you love me that much. I'm not worthy. Um, and so I try and give them a second and really get them to be present with me, look them in the eye, and then write something on there that either is a line from the show, but that also ties into this moment, or just you know what I mean? Because I want it to be about so they can walk away with something of that moment of you know
Yeah.
what I mean that they just waited in line for. You know.
Yeah. What I was going to say
Sorry, that
on
was a 20-minute answer. I'm sorry.
no, please. This is so much. I feel because I want to respect your time. I'm still going to ask my questions if I have the time. So like I don't feel
Okay.
bad.
I
Uh
know, but I'm also like, it's not, I'm rambling
yeah.
about me. It's not interesting. Sorry.
It's
Okay. Part
so
two. Sorry.
interesting,
Part two.
Dana. Oh, the part to that question, it's kind of like a yes or no. Do you need an assistant that weekend because I am free?
I might take you up on that.
All right.
I might. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes. We'll do tit for tat. You come help me for that, and then I'll get you a Michael Keaton cameo.
All right, cool. I mean, you have my number, so just text me and I would love to
Perfect.
help you.
Perfect. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank
Eh,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually. Figure
All right.
you
Cool.
should come though, for sure. I'm sure I can get you passed regardless.
Okay, cool.
Come
Yeah.
hang out. They're fun. Horror conventions are the best. The best
Yeah,
fan.
yeah.
The best. I'm telling you, horror fans are like the most, the kindest, most generous fans of any franchise. Like honest to God, if everyone in my family who's come with me to a con had their mind blown at like whatever they thought horror conventions were and horror fans were, and then seeing the multitude of the walks of life from the young to the old to every demographic possible and how like wonderful everyone is.
Yeah.
I think they're the best fans of any kind of genre. I really I can say that
No, they
very
truly
factual.
are. I did it with Christy Swanson, and
Oh, great.
I just had like a blast. So that's why if you have an opening, I would love to do it.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let me talk to my con agent and we'll figure something out.
Cool. And then the last question. Oh, I wanted to tell you this about the Richard Dreyfuss story real fast. So like I've learned this just from like stand up and from interviewing and stuff, but like I have Asperger's syndrome, so I'm not really the best socializer. But what I've learned is people really like talking about stuff that people like they don't really think people like or appreciate. So like Richard Dreyfuss, everyone probably asks him about Jaws or the teacher. Like I'm sorry, I'm not a
Mr.
Dreyfuss.
Holland's Opus, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what I love him from so much.
yeah.
Ah, I know.
So
I
so
know.
people always probably ask him about these movies, right? But they probably never ask him about the American president. You know what I mean? So like he is like, wait, what? I loved you in the
Water.
American president. He'd be like, I was the bad guy and I was only in it for like 20 minutes. I know you did a great job. You know,
That would be so great if
so like
have
it's
you
like
wait, did you get to meet him and bring that up, or is that something you would say if you did?
no, I was just giving you an
Yeah,
example of Richard
totally,
Dreyfuss.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. That is a great, that is,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can go in, well, and that's, I was like trying to think of a line, but like he mattered too much to me. I could
Yeah.
since I was a kid. So
No, I get it
yeah.
because it's like my obsession with John Cusack. So like I totally I get it.
But did you actually get to, now I'm confused what is real and what's not. Did you act, you said that earlier, but you did get to meet him, right?
Oh my God, you want to hear this story?
Of course.
Okay, so I tweeted John Cusack like 1,000 times, right? Because
Okay.
I'm with my Asperger's I don't see social cues. So like I in my head I'm thinking, maybe he's not seeing it, maybe it's an assistant, blah
Which
blah
is
blah.
usually, I can attest, I don't see a lot, most of mine. So yeah.
Right. So then he, after like 500 tweets over, a span of, 12 years, he DMs me, right? And I was like, oh my God, now I got DMing privileges. This is the worst mistake for John Cusack, right? So then I go to the DMs, right? And after like 500 DMs, he sends me a video, like a little cameo video, and he says, "I'm going to do the podcast."
Oh my.
So so then he emails me, right? And I interviewed him on Thursday, and for he doesn't really do interviews, like he hates interviews.
Yeah.
And he told me that I was the best interviewer he's ever done, and he'll do it whenever I want. And he does like live concerts, like he plays a movie and then he does like a Q&A. So he's doing one in San Diego, and he wants me to interview him in
Oh
front
my,
of this.
wait, shut up.
Yeah,
Did this
yeah.
just, wait, like Thursday, isn't this just happen?
Yeah,
Oh my God, this is so awesome. I love this story, man.
yeah. So
Look at what
this,
you manifested. See, when you don't focus on the fear and you focus on like just the positive and like the goal that you want. And it's like, dude, John Cusack is like emailing you and like telling
he's
you,
my best friend now,
oh
right?
my God, I can't
I'm the
believe you're
new
gonna
Jeremy
moderate.
Piven. Yeah,
What?
I'm the new Jeremy Piven. Like, uh,
I
but
love this.
yeah. So
Oh, I'm
like,
so happy for you.
during my shows this weekend, like I didn't even do material. I just told this story, and I
Yeah.
stretched it for 20 minutes, and everyone loved it. So it's like it's just one of those things where like I know in my heart I'm a good interviewer, and I know in my heart like I regardless how famous I am or how famous they are, I feel I'm equal. Does that make sense? So like I feel
But you are, and you absolutely, but that's, I think we live in a society where we think celebrity means better than, and it so doesn't.
it
It-
doesn't.
like, what would my mom, she had the funniest expression. It was like, it was something like someone who was I gonna meet, or someone I was afraid to meet or something. She's like, he puts on his pants same way you do, one leg at a time. Like I don't even that doesn't even make sense. But it's like every everybody is equal. Like and that's
Yeah.
no there is no just because you are doing TV and film does not mean you are better than you doing podcast. Like I don't know. I think I understand how we all can sort of get into that space, but like the bottom line is, I think what you've proven to yourself and to your listeners, which I think is such a good lesson that and something I also have preached that like if you put in the work and I mean, I don't mean work like as in stalking. I mean work as in it wasn't that you just messaged him a bunch. Your work was you fine tuned your podcast. You found your voice and your interviewing style by doing all of these interviews, right?
Yeah.
That's why doing the experience. That's why for actors who are like, how can I get started? Do the short films for college. Do that because that's how you learn. It's not, you're not going to make money right away. It's not going to be glamorous. It's the work, you're building
Yeah.
the foundation of your future. And you put in the work and you had the passion. And therefore, that's to me, anybody can win in that formula because you weren't attached to the outcome. It wasn't like, oh, I need 2 million subscribers by this. No, you're just doing you and
Yeah.
doing what you do that no one else can do in your point of view and your voice. And because it's authentic and because you have done the work and you are not half assing it and you love doing it, clearly, people love talking to you because
Yeah.
I don't sit here on my, I got a million things to be doing. I'm so focused, engaged because I love talking to you. I know I'm not the only one, clearly, because John Cusack loves talking to you. Like
Yeah.
that is such a great story because I think it's something like you could be the little Jiminy Cricket for people of like what to do. Like if
Yeah.
you want to make something happen, don't let the story like they could use both versions of you. The young kid who was so afraid of the kiss scene and then worst fear happened and then that's what came true. That was you then. Or
Yeah.
this version of you who's like just
Stalking
I
John Cusack.
am but like I honestly like doing the work and making and look at what you built, man. That is spectacular. I am so happy for you.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Man,
God.
he is I think I was at one con with him years ago in Toronto, years and years ago. And not with him, but meaning
He was there. Yeah.
and Joan was there, his sister. And he's a big get because I know he doesn't do those, like you said, he doesn't do cons often, but like for interviews and stuff too, like yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw him do one.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal, and you just made it happen, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, so to a point, stalking does work,
That
but
no, that is not the
oh,
takeaway.
that's not the
I don't,
takeaway. Okay. So, folks, stalking does not
no,
work.
it does not. It does.
It just
No, you
happened
know
to
what I'm gonna
work in
write?
this one case.
You know what I'm gonna write now? You said you're gonna give me a new catchphrase to write. I'm gonna, in addition to my new two ones at Creepy Con coming up, are gonna be the one you gave me, which is "Don't do crack," and this one, "Don't stalk people." I think those are two pretty good catchphrases,
Yeah, definitely.
right? But no, you weren't stuck because you weren't. There's a difference. You
Yeah.
had already had a product
Yeah, yeah.
pitch. There's a difference. Don't get
No,
people.
no, no, I know. I use stalking as a funny word, not
I
as a
know, but
serious
I don't.
word. If I'm being honest, it's persistence.
That is the gold
So,
star.
yeah.
Who, you know what? I don't even need to look at my thesaurus app today. Persistence. That is it. That is it.
So, so Dana, my final question for you, and this is like kind of a spiritual one for you.
I'm into it.
Okay, so if you could go into a time machine and travel and talk to a younger version of yourself,
Ooh.
knowing everything you know now. Now, you could travel tomorrow, you could travel when you were 3, it doesn't matter. What would you tell yourself? And you only have a little amount of time before you fade out.
That's such a good question, and I'm overthinking it. Wait, I only have a little bit of time. Oh, that I can only, I see that it has to be a
Yeah.
quick message.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
don't do crack.
gonna say. It's really what that was my first time, like, no, I should give a serious answer, but that was my first thing is like, don't do crack, which I have. So success. I win. Um, uh, it's all gonna be all right, is what I
All
want.
right.
It's all gonna be all right. Actually, I'd say three things. One day at
Okay.
a time. This too shall pass. It's all gonna be all right. Have fun. That's what I'd say. Have more fun.
That's great.
I think those
Well,
are some good words to live by.
well, where can the folks at home follow and support you? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yes, and it's I'm Dana DeLorenzo, like the contraction, like I am, letter I, letter M, Dana DeLorenzo on all the socials. And if you want to see where I'm gonna be, or I just did a live show called Cackle Freaks. That was super fun. So if you want to see where I'm gonna be in person, I usually update my link tree.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
which I don't know how you even find that Danny Lawrence on Linktree, but those are all it's all in my bios on my socials as well. And I think those are all the things. And then catch me opening for you. Coming
All right.
to
Yeah, that's what I'm liking. Uh,
I
all
love
right.
it.
All right, guys. That was the episode. Subscribe, rate, review. Dana, don't leave. I want to say goodbye to you off air. And we'll see you guys next week on Razor Riffs.